Alright, I wanted to make a video showing how to play Mirage better. So I asked Reddit, 3 different subs, for the best tips that they have. And I went through and picked out the best ones to share. All the background gameplay is just from previous footage of mine, from these things right here. Okay, first tip is from Linear Comb, and he says, probably just ult on any slight inconvenience and do it early. Cooldown is stupid short and it creates a lot of confusion after the decoy spawning animation. I fully agree on ulting the second you start getting shot, whether it's from people ratting or just anywhere really, because it gives you time to react to anything that's coming your way. It gives you time to heal or get behind cover to heal. The second tip from the Hard Truth 69 is use the decoys every time you have it. More clutter the better. Unless you're trying to sneak up onto a team or hide, throw your decoys everywhere and use your ult at the beginning of a close quarters fight. Don't use the ult when going for a revive. The decoys give away that you're reviving. Sometimes it's better not to ult at the beginning of a close quarter fight, because then you're just blocking your vision on the enemy too. If the space is small enough, that is. If it's big enough, then yeah, do it for sure. It's common sense not to ult when going for revive. If you do that, it's just a hole in your circle of decoys, and it's just obvious where you're rezzing. So always just res with no ult out. And I also fully agree with using decoys whenever you have them, even when you're just walking around and no one's fighting. Just throw one in a random direction. See if there's a team that way. Maybe they'll shoot it so you can see where they are. Alright, the third tip is from Chiefs fan 71308, and they say have a controlled decoy running with you at all times, whether you think people are around or not. This is probably one of the best tips out of all of them. Make sure you're doing this every time you're rotating to a different POI or around the map, wherever. It makes enemies that are trying to shoot you from afar before you know a lot more confused as to which one to shoot. Chances are they'll shoot your decoy instead of you, unless you have the upgrade where you can have 2 decoys out. I would also recommend having both of them out at the same time, just copying your movement as you rotate. Because by the time they're still shooting your decoy, you know there's people. Get behind cover and then continue the fight. Alright, the next thing is from jbarker99. They say, my favorite is running back through the center point of your ult to refresh the chaos and confusion. Not many people do this, and it's a really good thing to do, especially after shooting a little bit. Ult, shoot at the enemy, crack them maybe, run back into your ult, and turn a different direction. By the time you're in the middle, they'll have no idea where you went. Just doing this is basically having a second ult immediately after using your first one. There was actually a recent post on the subreddit Mirage mains of a person doing exactly this, and I'll have a link to that post in the description, and here's what it looks like. It's go time. Alright, the next tip I saw by @man6798 is, as a Mirage main, pop a decoy behind you. Guarantee someone will shoot it and you'll know a team is behind you after you've moved through a location. I do this all the time. A lot of people should be doing this all the time. It's amazing for knowing if there's a third party around or if there's a team, well, like the tip said, behind you from the place you came from. It's just very useful overall. You just plop a decoy down and leave it there. There were a whole bunch of great tips in all the replies, and I'll leave the links for each post down in the description if you want to go look through all of them yourself. But I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm just going to share 1 or 2 more tips that I had already thought of before making the posts, and that'll be it. Alright, the next tip I have is to send a decoy out to your side when you're healing behind cover to see when the enemy's like coming, because usually they'll shoot your decoy, then you can see about the time they come around the corner, and yeah, works out pretty well. Alright, the last tip I have, and it's pretty simple, is to just send out a decoy right before you change the direction to go a different way. And like I said, very simple, and it's very useful when you're running from enemies and whatnot. Alright, that's all I have for now. I didn't want this to be too long, and if you have any good tips that I didn't mention or anyone else did, feel free to comment them.